What the hell happened to flying in Star Wars Battlefront? One of the biggest changes from the beta to release in Battlefront has to be hands down the flying. This video will compare beta A-Wing footage to release A-Wing footage on Hoth. In the beta, it felt that you could turn at a much faster speed and able to pull up faster from ground assaults. If you were engaged in a dogfight, you could almost turn as fast as you can move your mouse across the mousepad with no additional weight to your ship. Your fighter would also move in the direction of your targeting icon as fast as possible, allowing you to be precise and, most importantly, agile. Also in the beta, your blaster damage to ships felt less than it is now in the released version. This is both good and bad. It was good because if you had a fighter on your tail, you could use your superior flying to evade and try to get behind the enemy fighter. The faster your ship was going, the less damage your blasters did to your enemy targets, and most importantly, the enemy behind you. The slower your ship, the harder your blasters hit. Now let's talk about release. Whenever you want to turn, you now have to deal with the ship's weight and delay. Turning speeds almost seem to be capped in favor of pilots who have less control over their mouse, joystick, and sensitivity. It doesn't matter how good of a pilot you are forced to wait for your ship to adjust to where you want to fly. It almost feels like flying with an added latency to where you want to move. This makes turning incredibly difficult when flying and also nearly impossible to shake anyone who's on your tail. You can also try to slow down and make an adjustment or to trick your opponent to fly past you, but now since blaster damage seems to be increased dramatically, one false move, you're instantly killed. You can also see this added weight and latency when you're moving on your target screen with this yellow icon and arrow that moves towards your icon. This arrow is basically telling you that you're flying fast and you need to wait for your ship to adjust to your movement. Since this wasn't in the beta, you could use your speed as a great defense, and now you can't. In addition to the enemy fighters that are in the air, you now have to deal with ion shots. Ion shot is a lock-on rocket everyone starts off with from level 1. It can be removed from your car slot for better options, but you're almost always going to have to worry about dodging these little bastards when flying in the air. This will cause you to waste an invulnerability shield or a maneuver. Also, there are many times when doing a quick dodge maneuver won't even work. The rocket will fly right past you, turn around, and come back and hit you for 50% damage. There's a good chance that every single time an ion shot is fired at you, it will hit no matter how hard you try. One of the only positive changes from the beta that I could see is engaging ground targets. Now that blasters do more damage, it's easier to kill enemy forces on the ground. But this is a heavy price to pay. I'm sure most players would prefer more agile ships to stronger blasters. So what's the solution? I feel that fighters shouldn't have such a negative weight effect when turning and pulling up from ground assaults. Fighters shouldn't feel like they have a turning or sensitivity cap, or at least not as harsh as there is now. I truly feel that this is an added weight to encourage less experienced fighters to get into flying, where experienced pilots have to have their sensitivity nerfed in order to level the playing field. Instead of an ion blast dealing a harsh 50% damage to ships, it should be knocked down to 25 to 30%, while turning weight should be reduced as well. It should be a fighter's job to dispatch of enemy pilots in the air, not the ground forces. Sure, if you have a coordinated group of players having an effective anti-air squad, they should be able to deter pilots from engaging the ground, but giving the ground forces an almost certain and easy way to dispatch of any pilot, experienced or not, isn't very fun. This move will force players to engage in more dogfights in the air, and with slightly reduced ship weight will reward pilots to use their speed and agility to evade pilots, adding more rewarding and enjoyable flying experiences. Blasters already do a massive amount of damage to other fighters, but I honestly think this isn't the biggest issue. In a perfect world, I feel like the beta controls felt the most fun and rewarding to players who knew their way around a fighter. It gave people a chance to do their own maneuvers and didn't nerf players who had a better control over their ships. What do you think about flying in Battlefront? Do you agree or disagree with my points? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comment section below. Lastly, hell, I don't have all the answers. I'm only coming to you from a gameplay perspective. I've sunk hours of time into flying in both the beta and release, and I can tell you that I don't even want to pick up the flying power up anymore given the current changes. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. My name is DeadlySlob, and I'll see you guys in the next one.